Hello Stampin' friends, it's JuliaMazur with Simply She Stamps. I'm here on a Tuesday for our Filled with Happiness stamp class. Maybe you have this bundle, maybe it's on your wish list. I started the video over because I was having some connectivity issues, so I hope that what I did helps it tonight. Okay, so let's get started. I have 4 cards to show you, and I'm going to show you how to use this cute stamp set. I just thought it would be great to color with watercolor pencils. It's a nice soft look. There's a few different ways to color lined images, line art images. Let me tilt this so it's not so shiny. So we're going to use watercolor pencils today. There are 2 different kinds. There's Watercolor Pencils 1. It has 13 pencils in it for $16. It has some newer colors like Fresh Freesia and Pumpkin Pie. There's the Watercolor Pencils number 2. I believe there's 10 in there, and it's a nice variety too. I actually use both. I kind of mix and match. And watercolor pencils are pretty simple to use quickly. I also like to use blends. I'm going to show you the difference between using the watercolor pencil and the blends. But the watercolor pencils are pretty economical, so you get lots of colors for just a little bit of money versus the blends and that investment. This stamp set coordinates with the modern oval punch. It cuts out that oval. It is unfortunately on back order until March 11th. So that is after Sale-a-Bration. If you are interested in Sale-a-Bration items, then you'll just need to swap out something for that $22. Okay, this is not a bundle right now, so you're not going to miss out on the bundle savings. Okay, so let's get started. I am using note cards tonight. I thought this would just be really nice to just grab some note cards, some designer series paper, and watercolor pencils. I am going to actually be using the Delightfully Eclectic designer series paper. And sorry, I keep saying let's get it together. Okay, anyhow, Delightfully Eclectic paper, designer series paper, is in the annual catalog, but it just became a Sale-a-Bration item, and it really is a super deal because this paper is in the annual catalog, and there's 48 sheets, so it's like a mega pack. There's 12 designs, and they're double-sided. Here's an alphabet, so I'm showing you one side. I cut these down just so you can see them a little bit easier on camera. Okay. Love these colors. We have some Misty Moonlight, Night of Navy, Black and White, Fresh Freesia, Crushed Curry, Petal Pink. What else? Oh, Calypso Coral. Okay, so those are 12 designs, and then you have the flip side. So there's actually 24 designs. Bubble Bath, Cajun Craze, Garden Green, and Old Olive. Love this. And Pretty Peacock. Look at these cute little strawberries. Oh my goodness. This one coordinates with a duo punch that is in the annual catalog, but you don't even have to have that punch. Love this pattern right here. We're going to use that. I also love these florals. Oh my goodness, and these big flowers. Swans, not quite sure how I feel about the swans, but I do like the basic X's in the back. Love the lemons here and the floral, and you can always use stripes. Okay, so this is the paper that we're going to use tonight, and also for my in-person class. I am hosting an in-person class if you're in the area near Wakanda, Illinois. Okay, let's get started. So I have a note card, and I cut down this piece of designer series paper. I believe it's 3 1/4 by 4 3/4. I grabbed my note card. You really need a bone folder to get a nice crisp edge with these note cards. Okay, I'm gonna grab my Stampin' Seal. Just putting this together first so it's out of the way. And it's just a nice little frame around your pattern paper. All right, and then this is also part of that paper, and it's not too early to start thinking about teacher appreciation. When I saw this stamp set, this is exactly what I wanted to do. So I have my Memento black ink. It's a nice black ink. You could also use one of the colors from that coordinates with the stamp designer series paper, like Night of Navy or Misty Moonlight would look really nice too. So I'm stamping this, inking it up and stamping it in the middle of my lined paper there, just like that. So I could put it, just a note, you're wonderful, I appreciate you, but I thought it would be nice. Let's stick this over here. I'm going to take the thanks, ink this up in black. Let's make sure that's well inked. And hopefully stamp it okay while I'm on camera here. Okay. And I'm going to use my Pick a Banner punch, slide that in to just punch off the edges. I believe I cut this down to 3/4 of an inch. I'm not putting it flush against here because I did not cut it long enough, but that's okay. I can eyeball it. There we go. And I am just going to use my dimensionals, and I'm actually going to use the large dimensionals, or regular size, I should say. Oh, that peeled off. I just peeled that weird. Hold on. The sticky stayed on. Okay, so I love this little notebook paper, designer series paper, and that is in the Delightfully Eclectic, which you can get for free with a $50 order. I am going to grab the Fresh Freesia watercolor pencil, and I could just put it right like that and be done, but I'm going to add a little bit of color. Let's see. I could use the Crushed Curry pencil, but I think I am going to use the Freesia. I'm just adding a little bit of color. I am using a light touch because I don't want streaks, and you can always add more color. So I'm just adding a little bit of color between the spokes, if you will. If you wanted to add some larger detail, you could press hard on your pencil there. But I like the soft look. That's why I like the watercolor pencils, to get a soft look. Okay. And I am going to use my adhesive again. And I think I'm going to keep this. I could put it on an angle, but I think I am just going to keep it straight this time. I have some dimensionals, and I'm going to cover that up. Again, just because I said this would make a great teacher appreciation card. And I am going to grab my pastel adhesive back sequence, because we always need a little bling. I could use the gold, but I think I'm going to use I think they're petal pink, but they kind of coordinate nicely with the Fresh Freesia. So I didn't put any of these sequins on my samples, so I'm just kind of winging it here. You could use 5. I'm going to use 3. You know, I tried to make this straight and it's crooked, so sometimes crooked on purpose works better. All right, so that is card number 1. Isn't that just so cute? Very quick card. Can you see the tad of color right there in the spokes of the sunburst? I couldn't decide. You could use it with the, let's see, with the Crushed Curry. I stamped the thanks in Night of Navy, so you tell me, do you like the Night of Navy better than the black because it coordinates with the designer series paper? I kind of like the black because it's nice and bold. All right, so card number 1, we're gonna set that aside over there. Card number 2. I have my note card again. I'm going to fold that. I don't know if I keep getting like a blank screen, like a black screen. So I don't know if my connectivity issues are still having trouble. Okay, we'll keep going though. Okay, so I have another piece here. I cut this down a little bit differently. So we have a wider border at the top and the bottom. And I do have a different sample to show you that I was playing around with. Again, my some ideas that came to me. This one, we're gonna use the oranges. So this stamp says it's a good day to have a good day. And where did I put that one piece of paper? Here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna conserve our paper. I have a piece of cardstock right here. I'll show you how I did this. I actually flipped this over because it's such a large stamp. I think I got some lint there. So I'm going to flip it over and hold my ink pad upside down to get a nice well-inked stamp and kind of smoosh it around. This is a fabric pad, like a, I don't know if it's felt. We used to call them felt pads. So it's not as squishy as our colored ink pads. All right. You could probably put your paper over if you want, but I'm trying to line this up because we're actually going to use the part that's left over for another card. I am stamping. I have my glass mat underneath my paper here. I feel like the glass mat just has too much, reflects too much when I'm on camera. All right, beautiful. It's a good day to have a good day. Now I'm going to take my punch and I'm going to punch out my oranges. Let's see, and try to get an even border around just because I have some words. And all right, so for this card, we're gonna use this piece and then we're saving this piece for another card later. Okay, so you can actually mix and match these as well. If you wanted to use the oranges for the happy birthday, maybe it filled with happiness, that would work as well. And you could put the birds with it's a good day to have a good day, which we're gonna do. Okay, so here is my, let me close up my black ink pad. Here is my little focal point, and I'm gonna start with pumpkin pie because I want to draw oranges. I'm going to use a very light touch and kind of get a base down on my oranges here. I am going to do this kind of quickly since I'm on camera. Okay. And then I'm going to press a little bit harder in some spots, kind of around the leaves and then where it has the dots. I wasn't quite sure if I wanted to leave the dots as like the bright spot, but I'm going to use it as the dark spot. That's why I want to apply a little bit more pressure to get a little darker color. Now over here, again, I'm going to add some, press down a little bit harder around here. So this orange behind this front orange, you can kind of see the shadow and then the dots. And you see me kind of using a circular motion because I don't want too many streaks there. So you can see how the color is just added on there. All right. Now, I don't think anyone's watching live yet, but if you're watching replay, let me know if you're watching on the replay. All right, so again, applying some pressure underneath those leaves and along the dots. Okay, so you're getting dimension because you're getting with the light like the sun is shining right there. Okay, now I'm going to grab two greens. I have the Granny Apple Green and Garden Green. I'm going to start with the Garden Green. It's a little bit darker. And just adding some color on the leaves. The key to getting things to look like it has some dimension is adding a couple different colors. So you have the light and dark. Okay, so I think I want some darker leaves on the small one. Doesn't really matter where you add that color. Then I'm going to go in with my Granny Apple Green and just use a light touch. And it kind of melts together. All right. Again, I'm kind of doing this quickly. So I might have some streaks, but if you take your time, and once your pencils, you know, this one's not very sharp. The point is not very sharp. It's kind of, I don't want to say bland, dull. You're not going to get as many streaks, if you will. And you can always go back in with the Garden Green if you want a little bit more of the darker green, or you feel like you missed some spots. Okay, it's up to you. Now these little blossoms, I'm going to use the daffodil, and I'm just adding a little bit of yellow in the middle of the flowers. You might not even be able to see them, see the yellow so much. Okay, and then I am taking the Coastal Cabana, so it's a light blue, and what I'm going to do is I am going to very gently, with a light hand, kind of outline. You might not even be able to see it from afar. I'm outlining the image, and this is what makes it pop. And I started doing this because I wanted these blossoms, the flower blossoms, to pop. And then I just kept going. I'm like, oh, it looks so good when you have the whole image. You could even fill it in a little bit more if you want. But it's one of those things where you might not even notice what it is, but it makes the image pop. So I'm just kind of very lightly going around the whole image. I'm not doing the full oval. Again, just lining the image, the leaves. And remember, this is art. So have fun with it. Don't get so worried about going outside the lines or making too much of a mess. Okay, so that blue edging just really makes it pop. I don't know if you can really tell on camera, but it gives that, gives it depth, I should say. Okay, ooh, I forgot to do something. That's okay. I'm gonna take my twine here, cut some. I meant to wrap that around the designer series paper before I put that down. That's okay. We'll make it work. I didn't press too hard so I can peel it up a little bit. And we're just gonna get it right there as far as it can go. I was gonna wrap it around twice. We're just gonna wrap it around once. Grab some adhesive, put some adhesive right there so it can stick back down. A lot of times I will, if I'm doing ribbon, oh my goodness. Oh, I'm just gonna pull that so I have some room to make a bow. If I'm using ribbon, a lot of times I'll put this layer on dimensionals so that it doesn't pop up so much, but this twine is really thin enough that you don't need to worry about that. And I'm actually gonna try to make my bow over here, closer towards the center. Just a little bow, adds a little something. You don't have to have the bow if you don't have any twine. Baker's twine or linen thread is always nice to have on hand when you need a little something. Okay, that did not tie very tight, but that's okay. Then I'm going to use my dimensionals. Put one there, one there, to kind of straddle the twine. And we're going to put that right there. Now, what I did, I think I would have liked the black twine like on my other sample. I'll show you. You'll have to let me know if you like the white twine or the black twine. There is a stamp that has, "Hello, miss you." And I actually cut it apart because I knew I would want to use the hello by itself. And then I have the miss you, and you can cut these apart very easily with your paper snips. And I'm just gonna go like this. And we'll cut this one on an angle. I'm going to use the edge of my dimensionals. They're kind of a half dimensional. So when you're frugal, you can use all the parts. And I'm gonna put that right there. Miss you. Okay, so that is our second card. Oh no, I need some bling here. We're gonna use these again. These are my favorite embellishment because they're nice and flat and they will go through the mail nicely without having to pay extra postage, because sometimes you have to pay the extra postage when you have too many embellishments. Okay, and we'll put that, I think, there. Okay, just a little bit of bling. All right, and let me show you what I did for another sample. I took some garden green cardstock and I took the hello stamp. I just had it in front of me. I inked up the hello stamp and randomly stamped it. I put garden green ink on garden green cardstock, but you could use any color cardstock and our Versamark. And I colored like I did before, just use some of the black. I liked the black with the stamped image. And these are actually going to be coming out March 5th. These are adhesive back shiny sequins. It's part of the Dahlia suite. No, Zinnia, not Dahlia, Zinnia suite. But oh my gosh, these were just screaming to be used on this card. So I was able to order these early and I'm so glad I did. Love these bright, juicy, they just seem juicy to me, colors. So which one do you like? Do you like the designer series paper or do you like the stamped background? I think I like the stamped background. But see, I was able to just stamp the hello instead of just the miss you, because maybe you just want to say hello and you don't need to say I miss you. Okay, so card number 2. I got some sequins, some rogue sequins over there. Okay, card number 3 is super simple. Super, super simple. I got that. I have a piece of the designer series paper and I believe I cut it at 3 by 5. So our note cards are 3.5 by 5. So this just gives you edges on both sides to frame it up. I took my, oh my goodness, modern oval punch and punched out some of the designer series paper there, and I stamped the congratulations. There is a congratulations stamp in this set. So I just stamped that on a piece of scrap paper. You know, the good old half-inch strips that you get when you, looking for my poker, when you are cutting down those inside pieces of our white cardstock. I am going to put these on glue dots just because it gives it a little bit of dimension. It's not a full dimensional, but rather than just my There we go. And I think I'll just leave those square corners. This, I think, makes just a really great masculine card. I am going to use 3 of these, so I'm going to strategically place them. We don't have any ribbon or anything. All right, so we have congratulations, just like that. And I am going to add some sparkle because we can. I feel like I make everything crooked when I'm on camera. I don't know if it's my glasses. Maybe it's not crooked. It just seems to be me. Okay, and good old sequence. The power of odd. You could do 5. I'm just going to do 3. Okay, a little sparkle there. Plain card, but I think it's nice and bold. Okay, for a simple card. So that's card number 3. Moving on to card number 4. I have my card base here again, using my bone folder to get a nice crisp edge. I have some designer series paper from the Delightfully Eclectic again, using my adhesive. And this is going to actually cover the whole card. So I cut it at 3.5 by 5 to cover that whole card, just because I can. All right, so if you remember, I have this from when I stamped this image and punched out the oranges. There's a cute little flower bunch. I'm going to stamp that in the corners, just 2 corners. I thought about, you know, corner rounding these little things, but I couldn't find my corner rounder. And then I was like, oh, this cute little flower works perfectly. All right, so kind of making a frame. So I did stamp the happy birthday. Where did it go? Here it is. I was able to fit this on the D block. This is the suggested E block for these large stamps. It does fit on a D block. You know, the D block is the size that come with kits and paper pumpkins, so you might have one of these. You just need to be careful, make sure that you press on the edges there so you get a nice, all the images end up stamping, if you will. Okay, so I have this, and I'm going to place this right there. I could use my liquid glue, but I think I'll just do this because it's handy. I know I'm covering up that cute little colored heart. Okay, so now we just need our image, and I'm going to use this one. Let me show you how I colored this one. Here's our final product, and I don't know if you can see that sparkle. All right, so I did use the blue and Coastal Cabana. I started just very lightly coloring. See, I colored out the lines already. I kind of made this a blue jay. I was trying to make it a robin, and that wasn't working so well. And blue is my favorite color, so I ended up making the blue jay. So kind of like layering. I'm pressing a little bit more right here to get a darker color. Kind of make his face have more color, and then add some on the edges there, so the sun is shining down on him right here, so that's why this part's a little bit lighter, a little bit darker, closer to his body. Excuse me. All right. And I think I did add a little bit of Coastal Cabana to him just to kind of add more dimension. When you layer the colors on, it just adds a little something. Okay, so there is our bird. Then I took Old Olive and Granny Apple Green. I think it was Old Olive. Hold on, where were my other greens? Yes, it was Old Olive and Granny Apple Green. So this color is Pretty Peacock. So I wanted my leaves to kind of look like Pretty Peacock. If you remember, I used the Garden Green with Granny Apple Green. That's very bright, so that wasn't the look I was going for. So I started with some Old Olive. And then I added, did I add the Granny Apple Green? Oh my goodness, I can't even remember now. No, I think, you know what? I think I added some blue. I can't even remember now. That's what I did. It wasn't that long ago when I was coloring these. I think I started with the Granny Apple, added some Old Olive, and then I went over with blue, and that's how I got it to look. Okay, let's see here. I think I used the Coastal Cabana. Yep. Kind of makes it look more like Pretty Peacock. That Pretty Peacock has some blue in it, so I wanted it, not that it's gonna match exactly, but kind of coordinates a little bit better. And it's okay to mix up the colors, even colors that you wouldn't think, who would add blue to leaves? Okay, so those are my leaves, and then I took the Melon Mambo, but I think I'm going to do Bubble Bath with this one. And I am just coloring around the flowers. You know, the flowers were stamped in black, so I can't really color the flowers, but I'm going to kind of put an aura around them. You might not even be able to see on camera. Again, the watercolor pencils just really give you that soft look. If you don't have watercolor pencils and you want to play around with them, I am having an in-person class on Sunday. Details are on my page here, my Facebook page, or on my website, jmazur.stampinup.net. Okay, so I just, like I said, put that aura around the flowers. And then, what green did I use? I think I used the light green, the Granny Apple Green, and just kind of like what I did with the other one where I was going around the images. I am lightly coloring around. I'm going to color in this whole oval. So around the leaves, I'm using a light touch and coloring with the Granny Apple Green. And then I took the Daffodil Delight, and again, a very light touch, adding some color in the background. And you'll see how it kind of all blends together in just a moment. I would have put blue sky, but you know, the bird is blue. So I'm using that yellow kind of around the bird. Close to the bird is the yellow, almost the same color. All right, and then I took my Wink of Stella and I colored just the background. I don't know if you can see this on camera. And then that way kind of blend the yellow and the green together. Can you see the difference there? Let's see. I don't think you can see the sparkle. But the Wink of Stella is really nice because it blends, melts those colors kind of like a blender pen. but a little bit easier than a blender pen. I guess I could color the, did I color the, nope, I didn't color the, I think I'm gonna add a little bit darker with the Melon Mambo around my flowers. Okay, there we go. And now I'm gonna use my dimensionals to pop up the bird. And I think the Wink Estella is also on back order, or it's low inventory. Hopefully, you know, it's always very popular. It's a good day to have a good day. And of course, we need some bling. We're gonna use the pink ones. I think the pink ones will look nice. And let's see, strategically place these. Again, I love the adhesive back sequence because, actually I'm gonna go up here. Like I said, they're flat. All right, I can pick them up because I didn't press them down all the way. And we'll put that one there. Okay, I don't know, maybe a little black bow. Let's do that too. I think that might just add a nice touch. I'm gonna grab a glue dot and kind of smoosh it. If I can pick it up off of there. I'm gonna put it on my glass mat where I can pop the label off. I don't know, I'm doing this off camera, but it's on my glass mat and I'm kind of folding it over on each other, so I just kind of have a glob. And let's see, where do we want to put this? If I put it there, then his face is covered up. And then maybe, I don't know, maybe the bow isn't a good idea because I don't know where to put it. Well, I guess I didn't plan on having a bow. Nope, it's covering the words. I don't think I can put the bow on. No bow. Maybe I'll put the sparkles on. I think we'll do that. We'll put the sequins. We'll see how well I can get those sequins off. The ones that I pressed so nicely. Hopefully it won't tear my paper. Nope, I was gentle enough. There we go. We'll just put them on the dots. And then maybe just pull this one off. Yep, I think we'll just put 2 on. All right, so card number 4. It's a good day to have a good day. You know, maybe some black right there would be nice for a nice little edge, but I was just trying to, you know, make them quick with not too many things. So here we go. Card number 1, card number 2, 3, and 4. There we go. So are you gonna try the watercolor pencils? See how you can get some really nice effects using them. Thanks for joining me tonight, and hopefully I'll catch you another time online here or in person. Have a great night. Bye-bye.